Hello again guys, Darragh Sheehy here for anyone who doesn't know me, and I just wanted to talk about the response to the last video about sexuality and also a couple of questions that came in around that and my own experience and my own kind of intention behind sharing video. So the first thing I'd like to talk about was the question whether me sharing something so personal, so open, so intimate is opening myself up to potential hurt. And my response to the question was basically that I didn't take to Instagram or social media or YouTube in order for that to be my testing ground of how I felt about expressing something. What I mean by that is that I don't share something unless I feel that I have some healing done around it, I have some awareness of it, and that I'm not looking for healing through sharing. What I mean by that is that I share things with people I trust, who are closest to me, as this testing ground to allow myself to get out of my head and to share something, to get something off my chest. And down the line, when I've got that feedback, that response, and that bit of space, then I can maybe see it with a different bit of perspective and take the weight out of it, and maybe then I'll share it in a different way. The point being is that my response to whether me sharing a video was very dangerous or risky is twofold. The first is that I wasn't looking for a specific response. The response of something that I share, any creative, the response to anything that you put out in the world isn't your business. And what I mean by that is I'm responsible up to the point that I share it. After that, I have no control over it. So for me to be trying to get control over how people see it and understand it, or how people respond to it, is futile effort, and it's basically opening myself up to a lot of suffering. So what I mean by that is, if I attach my relationship with myself or my significance or my self-importance to how a person sees something or receives something that I say or do, then it can be a disappointing exercise. Meaning, if people say I'm brilliant and the video helped me and everything, then that's absolutely phenomenal. But for me to attach significance to it and say I'm great is something like whatever goes up comes down, that kind of way. In the same way that if people don't like it and it brings up resistance in them, it's part of the process. I don't expect it to resonate and for people to be very open to the message. It's not my business, and I had to be strong enough in myself and check in with myself. This is the strongest point, or the main point, before I shared something, whether it's the right thing to do, whether I feel it's the right thing to do. And the second part of this is around that feeling. How do we connect with that feeling? And it's been my experience that when I've followed my feeling, that things have opened up and turned out really, really well in a way that I could never have imagined. And the second point is important, that I can never imagined. When our intuition is guiding us to do something in our lives, it's not logical. It doesn't have, the mind doesn't have an ability to connect the dots, and that's why it's an intuition and not a knowing. So there's a level of uncertainty with everything we do, because everything is changing. So when we have a feeling and intuition and inspiration, for us to check in with how that feels with us, when it feels right, it's almost this practice of going with it to find out why it was right and to allow the experience to unfold. Meaning, like the video, I have decided I'm going to share things and be more open about my own personal journey and what I've learned along the way from my own experiences, from working with people or learning from other people, and really just observations on life. And the feeling the other day was to share that video, and my mind grasped for meaning around it. It grasped to look for why, or I'm not ready to share that, or all these different excuses. But the stronger feeling that came through was that it was important, and that's what I went with. And when I did, the response to the video was incredible, and it's like, I'm starting to see a bit more why that's the case, and yet I don't have a clue of the significance. I can't know the significance of something I put out in the world, or how a person responds or receives it. So, for listening to ourselves, for tuning into ourselves, for tapping into ourselves, we're always being guided to doing things, to seeing things in a certain way. But when it's intuition, when it's that higher guidance, it tends to not have this thread, this logical, linear path. And that's because of our limited ability to see things or to understand things only through our mind. And oftentimes when I have a feeling about something, it's like, okay, I'll give you an example. It's like, I did something about 3 months ago where I decided to go on a trip, and someone very close to me said, that's probably the most ridiculous thing that you've ever done. And saying that to you is saying that to you is a strong statement. So I had a feeling about something, I followed it, and I'm still in the midst of doing that, but the impulse to follow it was stronger than any of the doubt or the fear, because the doubt or the fear won't go away. And I think that when we kind of take those leaps of faith in our own time, in our own way, then life becomes to unfold in a way that we never imagined, but in a way that we actually deeply desired. And we can't know the outcomes or the significance of things before we do them. We can just keep checking in with ourselves and just open ourselves up to trusting a bit more, having that faith. So, as I say, this is my message for the day. With these videos and with the content I put out, I'd like to be a lot more interactive with people and to have that energetic exchange, that connection. And if people have any questions or would like to kind of me to create something around a certain topic or an area, then I'd love to kind of hear that feedback. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave a comment below. If you're seeing this on social media, on Instagram or Facebook, then you can message me directly. But I'd like to open up that door, because I know that the interchange, this is the importance of it. It's all about this flow, this communication and this openness. So again, from my heart to yours, take care, and we will talk soon.